all geek to me!
Hello, welcome to episode 11 of the It's All Geek to Me podcast. It is time for some geek news, so cue the applause. And cue the laugh track. Let's get into the geek news. Roll it. Tim Allen is returning as Santa Claus this year with Disney's second round of the holiday miniseries. Tim Allen has been playing this part so long that he isn't going to need makeup this time. Oprah Winfrey is a producer on a remake of The Color Purple coming out on Christmas Day. The twist is this version will be a musical. What says Merry Christmas like a song-filled movie about racism and hate? Meghan Markle has a new book coming out where she names 2 members of the British royal family who made racist comments. What a shock that she pulls the race card right off the bat. She's worse at being an author than an actress, and she's getting close to being as bad as she is at being a wife. It is being said that Elon Musk and Twitter may lose $75 million by the end of this calendar year. Elon should not care too much considering that is only then 0.5% of his fortune, but the left gets to yell about it and fill their meaningless life with things Elon does not notice. Now, let's get into the main. Hello, and welcome to It's All Geek to Me, episode 11. Today, I'm joined with my friend B again. Say hello, B.
Hello.
Hello, and today we are discussing Avatar: The Last Airbender. We'll also be discussing the terrible, god-awful live-action movie that shouldn't be remembered.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it sucked. And we'll also be talking about the series, and we'll even we'll even show the trailer to show what we liked about it and what we didn't like about it. All right, so first of all, B, how did you get into Avatar: The Last Airbender?
So it was around a few years ago, probably when I was around 12, that my brother told me about the show, and I wasn't really excited to watch it. I'd never seen it before, and I don't usually try new things, but
All right.
he showed me the first episode, and I really liked it, and it seems a lot of my family actually really liked it, like my brother, my aunt, my cousins. So they showed me the show, and I've been a fan of it ever since.
Nice. I've
even gotten
What?
I've even gotten my grandma and my dad to watch it too.
Wow. I got into it 3 years, I think maybe 3 years ago, because my brothers Mikey and Tyler, they watched it first, and they were really into the series. They even had like the discs of book 2 and book 1 and book 3. Those are what the season names are. That's kind of weird, right?
It was a little weird when I first watched it, but
Too.
I got used to it.
Yeah, it was all right. It made sense though, because it's telling the story of Aang as the Avatar, and he's got to master the elements, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And I got into it from my brothers, and like you said, I've been a fan ever since. What do I think of the series? I think it's a very good original idea. It's a very good original idea because it shows, okay, well, some people didn't really do they did superpowers, but they didn't have like nations of people who could control the element, right? They didn't have that, right?
Yeah, it was pretty cool to see like the different elements having different nationalities to them, and it made like the conflicts in the series even more complex because it's not just different elements fighting, but it's different nations fighting at the same time.
Yeah. I think the idea of the 100-year war, the war between the Fire Nation, that was a very interesting idea. And I like how it was in the 3rd season that we got the backstory of how the war started, right? That was when it happened?
It was kind of like it was foreshadowed throughout the entire series, if I remember correctly. But I think like the main reveals were happening in book three.
Yeah, because Roku took, I think, Aang, yeah, to the spirit world, and Roku showed Aang the process of what happened, how Sozin started the war, and Sozin's betrayal of the ending where he actually refuses to save Roku. That's very bad, right? That's very bad.
I mean, he's obviously not a very good person
Yeah,
based on what he did in the show.
yeah. He started off as like this nice person, and then Roku became the Avatar, and then Roku left to master the elements, and then Sozin became this corrupted warlord, and then he wanted to like control every nation. But seeing his process go through with it is very interesting because he first started to do that with the Earth Kingdom, but then Roku, of course, stopped him, and he said if you will, he said he spared him, and if you attack him again, then he'll end him. And then he didn't do it for like years, and then he got his chance right as Roku breathed in the toxic gas. Let his old friend get killed. That is dark.
Yeah. I
That
guess they weren't really friends anymore when that happened, though.
yeah.
Well, they were kind of friends,
Yeah,
but
they were kind of friends because like he could feel the eruption from the Fire Nation from Roku's island. So I guess he felt bad that he didn't want Roku and his people to die on that island. I guess it was okay. Do you have any favorite characters from the series?
oh, oh, my favorite character is Uncle Iroh.
Yeah, for sure.
Easily, easily.
Yeah, I love Uncle Iroh. He's the best. He's funny. He's wise, and I like how he's more of the father figure than Ozai was to Zuko, which made Zuko's redemption like more appealing, right? It made it more appealing, showing that Zuko, of course, is going through hatred, going after Aang, but then Iroh's the one who pulls him back to the light, pretty much, right?
Yep.
Again, yeah, he pulled him back because he tells him Sozin is his grandfather, of course, and then his mother's grandfather is Avatar Roku. So technically, Roku and Sozin did become related through marriage.
Yeah, kind of.
Because I looked up like the after the series ended, of course they created the Legend of Korra, but they also created the Avatar comics, which are still going. They're supposed to serve as like what happened in between the end of the Last Airbender and then before the Legend of Korra, and it's supposed to say that they wanted to have the Avatar and the Fire Lord related because the Fire Nation wanted to look good.
Yeah, they wanted to basically make sure that the royal family was the most powerful family in the entire world.
Yeah. Yeah, it was very weird, but it kind of made sense. My favorite characters, I have a few. Like you said, I love Uncle Iroh. Uncle Iroh's the man.
Yep.
Uh, I also like Zuko. Zuko is a very good redemption arc, in my opinion.
Yeah, some people say he's better than Iroh. He's a close second.
Yeah. I do like the relationship they show. My brothers like this too. My brother Mikey actually likes the relationship they show between Zuko and Iroh. He thought that was a very good concept. He thought it was very good. And my brother Tyler, I don't know what he said his favorite character was. I think he said his favorite character was maybe Sokka.
Sokka is a pretty good character. Definitely
Yeah.
in like the top five.
Yeah, he's like in my top 5 too. I like how he started out as like this comedic person, but then over time you see he has a purpose and he wanted to make his father and the Southern Water Tribe proud.
Yeah, it's cool how you can kind of see him develop as a more mature character as the series goes on.
Yeah. If I had to pick, I like Zuko, Iroh. I also like Sozin because it shows him as a person who starts out as Roku's best friend and then he turns into this big, huge warlord, which I thought was a very
Um,
cool process.
it is kind of interesting to see his like negative character arc from going as a
Yeah.
kind of good guy to a very evil guy.
Yes. I have other characters too. I'm not gonna go into depth with them. I'm just gonna list a few. I like Roku. He was very good. I also like Toph. Toph is pretty badass. I will agree. Toph is a pretty
Yeah,
badass character.
she's in the top five. I'd say my top five are Iroh, Zuko, Toph, Sokka, and number five would be maybe Azula.
Yeah, Azula, another very good character. I like how in the last few episodes she can't trust because after May and Ty Lee betrayed her, she could not trust anybody, and she just fired all of her servants and her right hand, and she started going mentally insane. That
Yeah,
was
that was kind of funny.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was pretty funny. And I like the final battle between Azula and Zuko, the Agni Kai. That was a really interesting battle.
I'm gonna say that either that or the final battle are my favorites, but Zuko versus Azula is either my number one or number two favorite fight in the entire series.
Yeah, I will agree. The ending fight between Aang and Ozai is pretty awesome.
Yep.
Do you have a favorite episode of the series?
But it's probably for me between the finale,
Mm,
Tales of Bossing Say, and Zuko alone,
yeah, I agree. I really like Tales of Ba Sing Se. I like it.
especially Iroh.
Yes, I was actually gonna say that because they dedicated that episode to his original actor Mako because he passed away after filming the last, well, not filming but recording Iroh's lines for the second season. Then of course he was replaced by Greg Baldwin. But I liked that little tribute they did for Mako. That was a very nice tribute.
It made me cry.
Yeah,
It
me
made
too.
everyone cry.
Yeah, it made
Everyone who watched that would cry.
yeah, and I love too. I also like about that episode is that another thing too. I like Iroh. Iroh, of course, was going to be the heir to the Fire Nation originally because Ozai was the second brother, and I like we show him as a general who supported the Fire Nation, and then he stopped because his son Liu Ten died, and I like how he went from because he of course cared for his son Liu Ten, and he wanted to make his Fire Nation proud. But I like how as a like him as a father, he decided to stop because he couldn't risk it anymore because he saw his son die, which is a very powerful moment. Well, we don't see it on screen, but we see it like in his like his feelings, Iroh's feelings. Even Zuko said like he's probably sad because his only kid is gone forever, which is very sad.
Yeah, I'd probably cry if that was me too.
Yeah, me too. Like
But what?
oh, sorry. I was just saying, like, Zula though in that scene when they find out, like like when Zuko and Ozai and Azula and Zuko's mother they find out Liu Ten died. Of course, Zula has to be like a little. All right, I'm sorry if I'm making this, but she has to be like a little bitch, and then she decides to like literally rain on her parade, saying that Iroh was a coward running away. But Zuko speaks sense. He's sad because his kid is gone. His only son and kid is gone forever.
I say that that just makes him an even better character because even though
Yeah.
he went through such hard times, he still ended up becoming a nice guy in the end
Yes.
and wanted to help others.
Yeah. I'm just gonna do this for the last favorite episode. I love the finale. The finale was probably my second favorite episode in the entire show. It's really well, and I love the final battle between Ozai and Aang. I think that was very well done as well. But we also have these two little side battles with, of course, the famous Zuko and Azula slash Katara fight, because Katara and Zuko fight Azula. And then we have Suki, Toph, and Sokka stopping the Fire Nation ships, which was very awesome.
Yes, yes.
Do you have a least favorite character? It could be anybody.
Least favorite character. I mean, all of the characters, almost all of them, are really good, so it's hard to pick one.
Yeah, even
But
the
if I
villains
did
are.
have to, yeah, if I did have to pick a least favorite, it's a hard decision. I'd probably have to choose that the guy I forget his name from the one episode where the episode about Kiyoshi where the guy like wanted to kill Aang for being the Avatar. and no matter what, he wouldn't listen to them. He was very annoying.
Is he the guy who created the Dai Li agents?
No,
Oh,
but that Long Fang, I mean, I kind of like him. He's more of like a neutral character for me that I don't really care that much about.
yeah. Um. All right. So we talk about that. Do you want to talk about the movie for a minute? Do you want to talk about the movie and what we think of it? Do you want to talk about that?
There is no Avatar live action movie in Bossing Say.
I know. I know. I have a lot of problems with the film. As fans of the show, we do not like the movie. I think the fan base made that very clear. They were not a fan of the 2010 movie. It's awful, right? It's just terrible.
I mean, is there anything good about it?
I like the behind the scenes of like how they did it, but a lot of the well also too because it was made in 2010, so like graphics weren't really good back then, but it was pretty bad because they literally messed up the story and they just didn't understand. They also had a few scenes where they could not blend talking with action and dialogue. That was just pretty terrible. I'm not a director or a film student, like going to film school, but if I was the director or scriptwriter of a project, I'd make sure the scenes would work, right?
I mean, I mean, I'm sure anyone who's an actually good movie director would do that, so I'm not sure
Yeah.
where M. Night Shyamalan missed the boat.
Yeah, and that's saying something because a few of his films, okay, like a few of his films he's done, like Last Earth, I think, with Will Smith. Yeah, that was terrible. But he also has great movies like The Sixth Sense, which is a very popular movie. But why would he ruin it? He just ruined it. It's terrible. It's not great. And they even planned to make the sequels, but because of the first film doing so bad, they just decided, nah, we're done. We're done. It shouldn't exist anymore. They're like, nah, we're done.
I I think M. Night Shyamalan should have known that cartoons turned into live action. You never get M. Night Shyamalan to direct a film like that. It's
Yeah,
happened with Avatar. It happened with Dragon Ball. It's gonna happen again.
yeah.
Well, not going to because he probably learned his mistake.
Yeah, he learned his mistake, but it probably will happen again. It's just terrible. The movie's terrible. There's nothing good about it. It's just terrible. The fan base hates it. Everybody hates it. They just want to throw it in the Fire Nation so it can be burned by Ozai, Azulon, Azula, Iroh included, and Zuko. It can just burn in the Fire Nation for all I care. It's stupid. And we even got like the famous. They even mispronounced the characters' names wrong. We've got the famous "My name is Ong" meme. Yeah, we even
how
got.
do you how do you even get that so terribly
I
wrong? Like, did
know
you even
that.
watch the show?
Yeah, he should have watched the show first. He pronounces Iroh's name wrong as Iru, and he pronounces
Oh my
Sokka's name as
god.
Suka. Like, what the
What?
hell? Like, what the hell? And he even pronounces the Avatar's name wrong. The Avatar. Like, they did okay with that, but they pronounce it as the Avatar. Oh yeah, one of the reasons why they didn't actually
Bruh.
add Avatar in the title for the movie is because have you heard of the 2009 movie called Avatar?
The one with the blue people?
Yeah, the Blue Navi.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the reasons actually why they decided not to put Avatar in the title is because after Avatar came out and it became a huge success, they didn't want to get sued because they were going to originally do that, but then James Cameron and the people who made Avatar were going to sue them for it, so they had to just use The Last Airbender. But Avatar The Last Airbender came out first before Avatar. Avatar The Last Airbender was made like in 2007 and 2008, and then I think the third season was filmed or made in 2009, and that's when the Avatar movie came out. Not the Last Airbender, the Blue Navi. So that's very weird.
Well, that's odd.
Yeah, it's very strange of why they did that. But yeah, in conclusion, Avatar The Last Airbender, the 2010 film, it can burn the Fire Nation. They can stop mispronouncing people's names wrong. They can go watch memes about. You can watch memes about it or make fun of it. Like that's how I just think the "My name is On" meme is very funny, but it's just terrible. It's just terrible. Just burn in the Fire Nation, please. All right, now we got the
All right.
live action show. We'll show the trailer or reaction in a minute. We'll show what we think about it, but this series is going to have 8 episodes. And that is
Ah,
I know. So
we
I'm
should
thinking
have more.
I know, but I think the episodes maybe will be an hour or something. I think they're going to plan to combine all the episodes.
Is it like the One Piece? It sounds kind of like the One Piece live action. That was actually pretty good. So hopefully, if they're gonna go the same route as that, then the live action Avatar show will be good too.
Yeah. I'm a little excited to show this. They're showing some scenes actually that weren't in the show. Like in one of the scenes from the trailer, they were showing this was made up for the show, but they showed the Fire Nation actually attacking one of the air temples and they show that them having a very bloody massacre. Okay, there's no blood. They just showed the air nomads and the Fire Nation fighting each other, but it's just a very really all of us pictured what happened. The only glimpse we got of the original show was the air nomads in the temples just on fire, right? That's all we got.
Yeah,
And then we saw the aftermath, which of course, because Aang finds Gyatso's skeleton and all the other Fire Nation soldiers slash air nomads that died that day. But geez. But I also like in the trailer they even show Sozin's comet, which because Sozin used that to destroy all the air nomads.
I definitely think that the visual effects are a very good upgrade to the
Definitely.
movie that shall not be named.
Yes, the movie that shall not be named. We're gonna call it that now. Yes, it does look very good. They actually spent like they said to make this show, they spent $15 million to make each episode.
I guess they learned from their mistakes before and needed to make sure it was good this time.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna share to you on my screen. I'm just gonna share the Last Airbender trailer, and now we're gonna zoom
Oh
in.
no.
Not the TV, not the movie,
All right, all right, all
not
right.
the movie. All right, so what we have here is I'm actually gonna put this computer on the ground, and I'm going to put the other computer right here so that way I can look at it firsthand. All right, so can you see it on your screen? Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, so one thing I love right off the bat is that they have Sozin's Comet, which is very awesome. You gotta agree that's pretty cool.
Bosun's Comet is pretty cool.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna put captions on so that way you don't have to miss anything.
Time.
And I like the little dialogue.
Time is a funny thing.
All right, what do you think of that?
The past.
Of the Fire Nation?
I really like the
The future.
effect of the fire method. Definitely a lot better than the movie.
Oh, there
It
we go.
all gets mixed up.
Bossing Say was epic. Oh no, wait, that's not Bossing Say. That's Omashu. And Iroh, best character.
There's only
Throne
one
room's
way
even on fire.
to keep it straight.
It's interesting that you get to see Ozai in the first season as opposed to in the third one.
Yeah, I love how in the original they covered his face to make him look like this very villainous character. Very cool.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to do it in a bit of a different direction this way and show his face earlier.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to see how that ends up.
Yeah, I like the actor for Ozai, but no one is ever going to be the same except Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill played Luke Skywalker. He played Firelord Ozai very well. No one can get rid of that performance. He's very good.
It's interesting how Mark Hamill can be like the most good hero in Luke Skywalker and the most evil villain in
Yeah.
Ozai and still pull it off so well.
Yeah, he's even played the Joker in a lot of Batman animated specials too. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't know how he can be like so villainous and so heroic in as the same person.
Yeah, it's so weird. He's like a very good actor. All right, let me just play this back.
Always remember who you are.
I'm just gonna pause right there. Down to even the close, it's clear Netflix is trying very hard to not do what M. Night Shyamalan did, right?
Yeah, I do like the outfits.
Yes, they are very good. It's very interesting. And I like how they, like, for Netflix Presents, it shows here. I like how it shows, like, because, like, the Fire Nation, this is a war. Like, I know, like, in a lot of the episodes, they have, like, these side quests, and I like how in the second season they take a break from it. But some people forget, like, the movie, like, not the movie, the original show, this is going on during a war. So the war is the main focus, but the war takes, like, a back seat, and it focuses more on the characters and what they are trying to do, right? They're trying to achieve their goals.
Yeah, the show focuses a lot more on character development than the war, which I think is a good thing because obviously Avatar has some of the best characters in TV history, so
Yes.
they had to do something right with them.
Yeah, a lot of people have even said that Zuko's character, they said his redeeming journey is one of the most and the best in animation history too. So you can't deny that this show is
I'd say
original and great. Sorry.
Yeah, I'd say Zuko and Vegeta from Dragon Ball probably have some of the best redemption arcs I've seen in TV.
Yeah, I love that. I love that too. Vegeta has a very good redemption. All right, I'm gonna play this again. I want to go back to this real quick. Do you see that? If you look closely here, I didn't know this too at first, but if you look closely, that's Ozai giving Zuko his scar.
Oh, I wasn't sure if that was Zuko or Zhao, or I wasn't sure if that was Ozai or Zhao.
Yeah, it doesn't. Is it Zuko? It looks like Zuko. A lot of people online have been saying it is Zuko, but I'm not so sure that's true because Zhao and Zuko had a fight on the ship, right? They had a fight.
Yeah, so I'd say it could be either one, but
Yeah.
it definitely would be cool to see the scene with Ozai and Zuko be extended a bit so we can actually see what happened.
Yeah. It makes sense too, like, why Nickelodeon didn't show that in the first place, because, like, Nickelodeon has some, like younger viewers viewing the show, so it makes sense why they didn't show all that.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to maybe go for a more mature audience with this show, which is pretty cool since probably the people who originally watch it are probably much older now, so it makes sense that they'd try to appeal to a more mature audience.
Yeah. Alright, let me play this again. I like how this guy...
Iroh and Zuko against the Earthbenders.
I like that shot. A lot of people cried out, like, when they saw this scene where up his airbender tattoo. A lot of people, this was the one thing people liked about the Last Airbender movie. There was just one thing, and that was the air tattoos on Aang. That was it. And they said that they liked all the little designs in the air tattoos.
It did look pretty cool, but I think that this one is also cool since it has some better effects for the actual lighting up and the avatar state.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, this looks way better. And a lot of people liked this because, like, they saw, like, little designs in there too. It was okay. But I like this version better for the avatar state. Alright, let me play this again.
Appa, I definitely like the design for Appa. One was pretty cool. Yeah.
So, February 27th.
Alright, gotta wait 3 months.
Yeah, just gotta
I can't
wait
do
3
it.
months.
I can't do it.
We can make
Well,
it.
3 or 4 months. I'm not sure.
We can make it.
Um,
Right on
I
the.
can't. I can't wait anymore.
I know. I know.
We. I've been waiting for like a year for like that trailer alone since it was a long time ago when they actually announced that they'd be doing this.
Yeah. All right.
But it's
Right off the
definitely
bat.
satisfying to finally see the trailer be good.
Yeah. Right off the bat, down to even the clothes, Netflix has been paying attention to detail.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the scenes, I hope we get some long extended scenes like we were talking about. Like they're showing actually what the Fire Nation attacking the air nomads instead of in the original, because like the younger audiences, they just showed the skeletons of Gyatso, the air nomads, and then they showed only one of the air temples on fire. So I'm kind of glad we get to see a fight and see what happens. And this is
I
very
agree.
interesting. It's very interesting too because in the textbooks, and this is I actually remembered, a lot of people in the show, they said like the air nomads were prepared off guard because in the Fire Nation textbooks that kids had to read for school, they said that the air nomads fought back, but in reality they weren't prepared. Could you see that in like this trailer? They weren't prepared for an attack.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense that they wouldn't be prepared since it wouldn't really. I probably wouldn't expect Sojin to just kill all of them.
Yeah, it's like so bad. I like I like how they show some scenes from the classic, like the classic show. Like I like how they show Aang like walking in the, what was it called? It was the forest. I think it was a burnt forest, and he was just looking at it in distraught.
Yeah, I think that was the forest from the episode where he met the Heibai spirit, where
Yeah.
it was the spirit, the black and white spirit and
Yeah,
stuff.
I can see that. I think this has potential. There's a lot of things, a lot of behind the scenes stuff went down while they were filming this. Because a lot of the choices, I think Nickelodeon, they said Nickelodeon actually parted ways with Netflix when they were making the show.
Hmm.
That's very
I think it was.
that's very
Yeah,
weird
it's kind of interesting.
because it was,
Hopefully, the show will still end up being good, though.
yes, that's actually what I say, like, will it be worthy? I think it will be good. It looks pretty good from the trailer.
So far, the trailer is showing us that it will be good, but I
Yes.
guess we'll have to wait until the actual show
Yes.
comes out for us to find out.
I think the trailer, I think to down even to the clothes, it looks pretty realistic. A lot of people also liked how they managed to get Katara's hair loopies in the trailer. A lot of people liked that because that wasn't in the original movie, and they got the clothes like, cause right in the god awful It Shall Not Be Named movie, the clothes they were just wearing weren't like even connected to the tribe. All they wore were just like regular Arctic clothes. But I like in this one they show the tribe's nature and the tribe's clothing. I like that. They show that this time. And Appa finally looks good after the god awful movie. They showed him in that movie, and he looked awful. He looked terrible, didn't he?
Yeah,
He looked awful.
unfortunately.
Yeah, Appa and Momo. I don't know if they're gonna be. Momo obviously looks good, but he's all right. I mean, I'll give them credit because all right, Appa, that was pretty good. That's CGI, but you can tell that's really good though. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's clear like all these. It's clear they just like took them right out of their animated, like right out of the animated series, and then just put them in live action in a very good way. But it took
Yep.
$15 million to make each episode. $15 million. Who does that?
Well, at least I guess they probably wanted to make sure that they wouldn't make the same mistakes that they did when M. Night Shyamalan was in charge.
Yup. They did not want that to happen. Oh yeah, I looked up to see the rating of the Last Airbender movie. For critics, the last I checked, it was at 5%, and then for the audience, it was at 13%. It's so
I'm gonna assume that isn't good.
It's not. It's terrible. Why? Well, it's forgettable. It's the movie that shall not be named. It could be burned in the Fire Nation. But I'm really excited to see how this goes. I hope that the series is good and then make the second season, because I actually want to see what Toph looks like on live action. I want to see that on screen.
I think she might end up being in the series because I saw like this teaser trailer with her.
Oh, well, that's even better. Because I'm very interested to see how this goes. Because there's a lot of characters that I actually would love to see on screen. Like, they finally showed us what Azula and Ozai. They were in the original movie, right? Or was it just Zuko and Iroh?
Um, I I'm pretty sure Ozai was in it.
Yeah. And it's cool we get to see Azula on screen. Azula looks pretty down right to the bone, like pretty spot on. A few characters I actually want to see look good on screen are Mei and Ty Lee, her gang that are in the original show. We've seen Zuko. Zuko looks flawless, and they got the scar right this time. Unlike the last
The
movie,
scar's on the wrong side.
it's okay. Wait, wasn't it on the right though? It was always on the right to me.
It was just a joke from the show.
Oh. But it looks good. They actually managed to make that look good this time. There's a few other characters I'd like to see on screen as well, like Paku. That's the guy who was in the Northern Water Tribe, right?
Yeah, he was Katara's teacher.
And then he became the grandfather to Katara.
Yeah.
So that was very good. I want to see him on screen. The Earth King. I want to see the Earth King. Jet and the Freedom Fighters. Oh yeah, the Jet and Freedom Fighters, they're pretty good, but I kind of don't like Jet, to be honest.
I, I agree. I'm not sure why, but I never really liked Jet.
I think you're supposed to like him, like, because he's supposed to respect the
I
Fire
think,
Nation.
well, you're not supposed to like him in the beginning, but then they try to get you to like him, and it doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, it doesn't really work. I do find his sacrifice was pretty sad. I do find that very sad. That was pretty
Yeah,
fucked up.
it was really unclear whether or not he died.
Yeah, he then died. They actually said what happened. Yeah. They said what happened, like, they said, like, because of, well, he did die because, like, Toph said he's lying, that he'll be okay, and then he dies, and they said that the other two just left immediately because they were being oversworn by other people, so they had to leave immediately, which is kind of sad. It's a shame we never get to see the Freedom Fighters again. The only two we get to see are Pipsqueak, and I forget the other guy's name. He was, like, a little kid.
Smellerby.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Smellerby. He was really funny, too. And I like that we get to see them actually fight on the day of the eclipse. That was pretty cool, too. I hope we get to see them in live action. And...
Yeah,
Sorry. You go on.
the 2-part episodes for the Eclipse were also pretty good episodes.
Yes. And we need to see that we need to see that in live action as well. We need to see that as well.
Yes.
I have a lot of hope for this series. I have hope. You have hope. Is your brother going to be watching the live action series too?
Probably.
Yeah. I'll have to ask my brothers to see if they're going to be watching it. I'm not so sure. They liked the original one and they thought it was pretty decent. And then they said for the live action movie, they agree with us. It can just burn in the Fire Nation for all we care. It can be burned. It can be whatever. It can fight in an Agni Kai, and then it can lose, and then they can just be burned by the entire Fire Nation.
An Agni Kai against Ozai.
Yeah, yup. I like that. I also want to see how General Zhao looks. He was in the original movie, right?
I think so.
I want to see him look good on screen. It's just a shame that he's not going to be voiced by Jason Isaacs. Jason Isaacs.
He did have a pretty good voice in the show.
Yeah, Jason Isaacs is another famous actor. He played in Harry Potter. He played Lucius Malfoy, Draco Malfoy, the bully's father, and he's done a lot of really great, interesting stuff. Oh, right, he's also Travington in the movie The Patriot, which stars Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger. He's really good in that. And General Zhao, I actually would beg to differ. I think Jason Isaacs could have played Ozai better than Mark Hamill, but now after hearing Mark Hamill's voice, I think Mark Hamill's more better. Do you agree?
How do they get the best voice actors for the Fire Nation characters?
Yeah. Dante Bosco was another good choice too for Prince Zuko. He was another good choice too.
Yes.
Yeah, Greg Baldwin for was it Greg or Craig? For
Yes.
Greg or Craig? I'll just say Craig. No, Greg. It's Greg. My bad. Greg Baldwin. I think he was an okay actor. He actually said a very nice thing. You know how Iroh sings the very sad and emotional song "Leaves from the Vine"?
There.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
cry again.
yeah, I know. It's so sad. It's so sad. But he said after Mako passed away, he said a lot of people wanted him to sing his version of Leaves from the Vine with his Iroh voice, and in the very nicest way, he said he was not going to sing that song ever as Iroh or at a reunion with the cast members because he said that Mako played Iroh. He played Iroh first, and he played him very well, and he had his own way of playing Iroh, and the way he delivers the song is very good. So he said he's not going to do that just out of respect, which I think is very nice. Yeah.
That is a respectful thing to do.
Yeah, Leaves from the Vine. A great. He even sings that too. Like before he even sings that to Liu Ten's picture, he does it. He sings it for another kid to cheer him up. Which that was the cheery version, but then we know the real reason why he sings it.
The sad version.
I know the sad version.
The make you cry version.
Yes, the one that will make you cry version. It's great. I love the series. All right. We might as well say our final thoughts on everything. So first of all, what do you think of the original series? 10 out of 10, definitely.
10 out of 10.
Yes, definitely. All the characters, they're great. The episodes, they're all great. Oh yeah. Did you have a least favorite? Oh yeah, right. We already did least favorite episodes. All of them are good in the long run. The movie can be burned in the Fire Nation for all we care. What would you do to it if you were in one of the nations? What do you think? What would you do if you were besides Fire Nation? What would you do if you were part of the Earth Kingdom? What would you do to it?
Bury it underground, very far underground.
Yes, I'd also send it down that huge slide that Boomy and Aang would go down. I would send it down there too.
Oh yeah, that too.
Oh, right. Do you want to talk about before we go? Like we're summing up the Avatar stuff, but do you also want to talk about Legend of Korra when we're done summing up the Avatar?
Yeah.
All right. So movie, it can be sent down in the Fire Nation. It can be burned in the Earth Kingdom. It can be sent down the slide that Aang and Boomy went down many times, including the. Was it May and Ty Lee that were fighting them on that slide, or was it Azula?
I think it was all of them.
Yeah. So it could be burned. It could be burned. It could be buried. It can be thrown underwater. It can be.
It could
Okay,
be
air
frozen
nomads
in
are
an iceberg.
Yes, it could be thrown in the iceberg that Aang was buried in. And for the air nomads, they'll just throw. What do? They don't do anything violent.
I Yeah, they're a peaceful culture, so I'm not sure if they would like do anything
Yeah, the live
to
action
it.
series, the teaser trailer, pretty good. And I've got some high hopes for this, and I'm hoping they're not going to be bad. All right, now.
I mean,
Yeah, we're just hoping it's not going to be bad. I mean, down to the trailer, it looks pretty awesome.
the trailer so far is looking good.
Yes, everything looks pretty good. All right, it's now time to talk about the last thing we're going to talk about today is the Legend of Korra. What do you think of the Legend of Korra as a series and a sequel to the Last Airbender?
So this one is very controversial. There's a lot of people who hate Legend of Korra and a lot of people who love it. I'm sorta in the middle, but I lean more towards liking it.
Me too. It knew what a lot of people were very excited when they heard they were getting a series. But one thing I like about this is that if you did Aang or somebody else from the group, it can't be. Hold on a minute, I've got to sneeze. Hold on. Okay, it stopped. But a lot of people like you can't do Aang or one of the members again as a copy and paste version. It needed a new avatar, and I'm glad they decided to go with the next avatar in the avatar cycle.
Yeah, Korra is
She's an okay
for the
character.
most part, she's a good character.
It's fun. She's fine. I also like we get to see in the series we get to see Aang and Katara's kids. That was very cool.
I do definitely like Tenzin.
Yeah,
He's one of my
Tenzin.
faves.
He's played by J.K. Simmons, aka J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man, and Fletcher. That's from a movie called The Whiplash, which is a very intense movie. J.K. Simmons needs more good guy roles instead of bad guy roles, right? He needs more good guy roles.
He did play he did play Tenzin very well.
Yes, he actually did a very good job. I also like Boomy, his son Boomy. Boomy did a very good
Oh
job.
yeah, Boomy. Boomy is probably like my first or probably my second favorite Korra character.
Yeah. And Kaya, she's okay. Kaya, not Katara's mother, the daughter. Because they named the daughter after the mother, and they named, of course, Boomy after King Boomy, Aang's best friend. From childhood.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
I
So,
think Kaya
yeah.
Kaya could have been a pretty great character, but she was kind of just a copy and paste of Katara, and I feel like the show would have been better if we had some more scenes with Kaya to kind of like flesh out her character.
Yes. I also enjoy the new characters. Would you like to talk about them for a bit? Talk about Korra's friends in this scenario?
Yeah,
All right, so who's your favorite out of the brothers? Who's your favorite?
Mako or Bolin.
Yeah, which
Definitely
one?
Bolin.
The funny one?
Bolin. Yeah,
Yeah, he's great.
Mako. Mako was just kind of boring.
Yeah, but he was there. He was funny when you needed. Well, he was kind of funny when you needed him to be funny, and then he's like serious when you need him to be serious.
Yeah, he's funny sometimes.
Yeah, the other character are pretty good. I like their characters. They're fleshed out, and they were. And this is supposed to be Korra's team avatar, and that I like. It's different compared to Aang's team avatar. For Aang's team avatar, of course, you've got like Aang, Katara, Zuko, Toph, and Sokka. But I like this version of Team Avatar better. Well, not better. Nothing can replace the original, but I do like this team avatars. This avatar team. I like this team avatar. It was very interesting.
It is. Yeah, it's pretty different, but also similar to the original team in some ways.
Yes. Not a lot of maybe is that why people hate it because like a few of the characters are like copy and paste versions of the original ones.
I mean, Mako is pretty similar to Zuko.
Yeah.
Korra is kind of similar to Toph.
Yeah.
Um, the character, like the personalities, are a lot different, but also with like sometimes they're like a little different,
Yeah. I like
but or similar.
one of the actors who was in the Last Airbender movie. She played one of the I don't know if it was one of Toph's kids or a friend of theirs because it's the Kuvira arc. One of the actors who played the princess, well, not princess, but like the person of the Northern Water Tribe. What was her name?
The Northern Water Tribe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, forgive us if we forget, but it was her actor in the live action series, and she decided to play a new character. So I guess that was her way of redeeming herself. Oh yeah, now I know who it is. It's have you heard of the actor Robin Williams?
I think I might have heard about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was Genie in Aladdin. Well, that was his daughter. His daughter Zelda, not the video game, not the video game at home. His daughter Zelda Williams. She played, I think it was her, or she played Kuvira. I may have gotten the two mixed up, but it's one of the two. And I think it was their way of redeeming themselves. I also like a few of the characters they introduced later on. I like that they brought Zuko back and Iroh back. Those were really cool to see.
It, yeah, both of them were definitely very cool. And Toph.
Oh yeah, and Toph, definitely Toph. I like too in this one we don't see Aang very much because okay, it is a shame that we don't get to see Aang more as an adult, but we get to see glimpses of all the characters like Korra, Tenzin, all of them remembering Aang. I do think that was really cool that they showed that.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that we don't get to see Aang. A few of the other characters I enjoy too, like season 2, uh was it season 2 or 3 that they introduced the rebuilding of the Air Nation? Was that in season 2 or 3?
That was season 3, I think.
Right. I loved that arc. That was a really interesting arc because the air nomads and the air nomads and the monks, they were all extinct. Aang was the last one, and then of course when he had Bumi, Kaya, and Tenzin, Tenzin of course got married, and he had Jinora, Iki, Milo, and then Rohan. So they were basically the last air nomads and airbenders left. And then of course after that, of course, something happens, and then Boomy becomes an airbender, which was very cool. Like I said, look, I'm airbending, and then he fell. That was very funny.
Um, yeah, it was a shame that we didn't get to see the Airbenders that much in the original show, but it is very cool to see them
Yeah,
in the sequel.
yeah. I'm just gonna dedicate a little section there. I like Tenzin's kids. They're very funny in their own way. Do you think Milo's
Yeah,
the
they're pretty
funniest?
good characters. Mm, I
Uh,
don't know. The fart jokes are
yeah,
get old pretty easy.
yeah. Out of all the kids, who's good? Jinora, Iki, Milo, Rohan. We can leave out of this because he's a baby.
Um, Probably Jinora is the best out of them.
Yeah,
She
Jinora's like
was
the only
the
fleshed out.
most. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
The
Jinora's like
most
the only fleshed
mature
out character.
character.
Yeah, the most mature
She is one
character.
of the main characters too.
Yeah, I like how they show later. We'll get this in a minute. But yeah, Jinora's like the only fleshed out character out of Aang's grandchildren. It's okay, but I kind of wish we got to see more of Iki and Milo. We do get to see that later in like the. This is where a lot of people do not like this. Before we go into the last season, a lot of people do not like that Rava, the spirit that controls the Avatar, was killed and all the Avatars were gone. And then Korra became the first Avatar. A lot of people did not like that, and that's one of the reasons why the fan base hates the Korra series. What do you have to say to that?
It was definitely very disappointing to see all the avatars go away, since one of the things that made the avatar so cool is that they had access to the power of the
The past
previous
Avatars.
lives.
Yes, that was a
Yeah,
really
but
interesting idea.
some people say it's like her fault, like she's the worst character, but
Nah.
it's if you really watch a scene, it's not really her
Yeah,
fault.
it's not her
There
fault.
wasn't really anything she could do about it at that point.
Yeah, it's not her fault. And then she tried to get it back, and then of course she becomes the first Avatar.
Yeah, I don't understand how some people hate Korra for losing the Avatar state when you should be hating Unalaq for being the one who actually caused it to happen.
Yes. I like the villains too. I like Amon. Amon is probably maybe the best. I like Amon.
Yeah, I either Zahir or Amon are the best.
Oh, yeah, here. That's who Tenzin fights, right? In the airbending. That's him.
Yeah, Tenzin also has that pretty good fight against Zahir and the rest of the Red Lotus.
Yeah, that may be my favorite. Him between Tenzin versus Sakura may be my favorite fight in the Korra series. It may be my favorite.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we get to see two airbenders fighting each other, and no one ever since like the original show, we did not get to see an airbender fight each other, airbenders fighting each other, and then we finally got it, and they showed it in the coolest way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the ending is okay as well. I like in the series, before we talk about the end, I like how they show the actual backstory of how the Avatar was created in the first place.
That was cool.
Yes, seeing Avatar 1 is very
I do like Avatar 1.
yes, I do. Yes, he was a really good Avatar. I like how he's different from the others. He's not like, yes, he cares about peace and all that, but he was more cocky compared to the other avatars. Kind of like an Avatar Kuruk.
Yeah, they are kind of similar.
Yeah. They were okay, but Avatar 1 definitely set the mark for how the avatars acted later on in life. Out of the only avatars we know so far are, we only know Avatar 1, the first one. We know Avatar Kuruk. We know Avatar Kyoshi. We know Avatar Yang Shen. And we know Avatar Roku. Are those the only avatars we know out of all of them?
Well, there is also Avatar, Aang, and
Yeah.
Korra, obviously.
Them
Um,
and that is the Avatar Island of Korra, right?
I'm Yeah, we haven't gotten to that yet, but
Yeah.
hopefully they will make a show about that. Because
I
I would watch that.
I actually think I can answer that question. Um, Avatar released a few books. The Avatar official Avatar and Nickelodeon, they released books that are canon to the series. One of them is called Legacy of the Fire Nation, and that shows, of course, Zuko and Iroh, and Iroh's talk, of course, passing away. And then in the most nicest way possible, he just says goodbye to Zuko. But then in the book, they actually show Korra leaving notes for the next Avatar, which is an not Airbender, Earthbender. How does it go? Water, Earth, fire, air. Yeah, that's how it goes, right? In the
I think
Avatar
it
cycle.
ends with air. I'm. I think yeah, it goes water, fire, earth, air, or maybe it's fire and then earth.
Yeah, the ending of the series. The ending. They do a huge time skip. I don't know why they had to do a time skip. What do you think of that?
I mean, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool though that we get to see Milo kind of matured a bit. Not so much.
Yeah, we kind of see most of the characters mature.
Yeah,
Even though some of them were already
and a lot
kind
of
of
them
like
are looking
older.
for Korra because Korra, of course, went through that because Korra couldn't walk or do anything anymore. So this was her in exile, right?
Yeah, it was kind of sad to see her character go through that bad stuff.
Yeah. And now a lot of people also don't like the Legend of Korra because at the end of the series we see Korra, of course, going to the spirit world with what's her name? I forget her name.
Asami.
Asami. And a lot of people thought, oh, this isn't anything bad. And then when the series was over, the creator said it's a same-sex relationship. And because of that, a lot of people decided to hate on the show. And a few people who actually were a fan of the series, like Movie Flame, who's a very famous YouTuber that we enjoy, he said that was pretty ballsy for a kids show. Do you agree with them?
Mm, at the time, I would agree, since at the time there wasn't really any shows that did that, but
Yes.
now it's a lot more common. So,
Yes.
um, but it was definitely different at the time.
Yeah, it was very different, and then they finally revealed some characters who were that. And then, of course, they revealed Asami and Korra's relationship in the comic books, which are supposed to be canon, to the actual series. So, yeah, The Legend of Korra, in my opinion, it's an okay sequel to the show. It's an okay sequel.
I say it's when standing alone, it's a good show, but
Yeah.
of course, if you put it in relation with Avatar, one of the best shows of like animated shows of all time, it's gonna have a difficult time
Yeah.
comparing.
It's a very interesting idea that Nickelodeon decided to do with the original show and the sequel series. And even though the original series ended in, was it 2008 or 9 that it ended?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because the show ended right around when we were born. Because like we're not gonna say when we were born, but we were like born like right around that time, kinda, right? The both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it ended like right before like we were born, but it's still continued to this day, and it's still considered to be, it's still watched by millions. And of course now a lot of now Netflix is like bringing new fans to the party as they're making a live action series. It's actually, and they actually have an original show.
I'm excited for that.
Me too.
I am
That better be good.
excited for the. Yeah, it better be good,
I'm not
or
even
else we're
joking.
gonna have to. It better be good, or else we'll have to give them the same treatment as we did with the movie.
Yes, a lot. I'm even planning on reviewing the first season on my Reviews You Can Use channel. I'm even planning to do that. Would you like to join me in reviewing that when it comes out?
I would.
Yes.
That would be pretty fun.
Yes, and maybe a few of our other friends too who have connections to Avatar and they would love to review it. Cuz I know yeah, Gerald, not Gerald. My bad. Cut that out. But like Paramount, Tornado, they okay, maybe not Paramount, but I think Tornado would want to review that thing cuz has he seen the original series?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure he would want to. And then our friends, we're just gonna say their first names, Thomas and Matthew. I'm sure they would love to review it. Would your brother would like to do that? Would he like to do review the show in his own right?
Maybe I'll ask him.
Yeah, cause I have a lot of. I hope it's good. It better be good. Please.
Yeah, I have pretty high hopes for the show returning.
Just please, God, make it
I
good.
yeah, I think the Avatar fans deserve a good Avatar show after the movie.
Yeah, because it's been years since we've had any new Avatar content. Because
Yeah, I think Korra ended like around 2006, maybe.
no, not wait, not 2006. What about is it 2015 or 2016? It's like right
Around that time,
yeah,
yeah.
it was right on that time. So we've had one in like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. We haven't had one in like 9 years. Wait, did I do the math right? Maybe.
If it ended in 2015, then it'd be right around 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we haven't gotten any in 8 or 9 years. So this is I mean, we've gotten the comics, but a lot of people really don't know about them. So it's very interesting to have the Avatar content come back, and I hope that Netflix does this justice. And they're making
Get better.
yeah, they better. I know they're doing this because like a lot of their classic shows have ended, like Stranger Things. It's ending because season 5 is in development, and of course Umbrella Academy, which is another famous show, it's ending, and it will be releasing its season next year along with the Avatar show. So there's a reason probably why Netflix is making this, you know.
Yeah.
But it's weird that Nickelodeon would part ways with with Netflix. That's kind of weird because it's their property. Their property.
Yeah, I think they made like a separate studio or something along with that.
Yeah, it's so weird. But yeah, thank you. Do you want to end it here?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, B, for coming on to It's All Geek to Me and discussing the Avatar shows.
It's all geek to me!